Hey everybody, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me here today. My name is Pete Renzulli. Today we're going to talk about day trading for a living, something that pretty much everybody thinks and associates with trading full-time. Some people swing trade for a living, some people day trade. I happen to have had one of the larger firms in New York City, Keystone Trading Group, way back in the day. Today I'm going to give you everything, soup to nuts, exactly what to do, exactly how to think, and show you some results from both myself and from the community. You will leave today, whenever you're watching this over the next 5 days, with every single thing you need from start to finish to understand what finally it takes to successfully day trade stocks. And I want to be super clear about this. Day trading can be hard. Matter of fact, it is very hard, but I'm going to explain to you tonight why it's hard for so many people. And it's really because of two things. Number one is you never actually take the time to script out exactly what a good day trade looks like for you based on your edge. And number two, you don't follow it. And that's one of the big things we're going to talk about tonight. So I want to jump ahead just a little bit. Obviously, today we're going to talk about day trading, living the dream, and avoiding the nightmare. And I'm actually going to show you quite a few examples here tonight. Again, I'm not leaving anything out. You're going to get everything tonight. This is definitely going to be one of those videos you're going to want to take notes, watch again, watch twice. And at the end, I'm actually going to give you a chance to trade with me for the next 12 months. At an unbelievable offer that I've never offered before. I've actually never offered just my day trading community at all. It's actually been open for 6 years. So we're going to get right into it. I'm actually going to fast forward just a little bit, and we're going to fast forward to what is the last slide, one of the very last slides of tonight's training. And I believe that we have roughly about 45 minutes worth of training for you. So again, if you didn't do it already, take some notes. I also want to encourage you, comment. If you happen to be watching this on the live video, comment, and I will promise we're going to have a little back and forth. If you happen to be watching this on the replay a little bit later, post those comments below the video. So I want to give you kind of like a preview of where we're going actually, and the whole point of really why I want to capture your attention and capture your excitement about trading. You're going to see tonight that I'm really passionate about day trading stocks, and this is really the big thing that I want to show you tonight. And this is actually one of the trades that I'm going to walk you through from start to finish that actually happened today. So nothing from like years ago or any of those kinds of things. So I'm going to show you a trade today where just taking the steps of what we call profitability boosters, okay? The same exact trade run two different ways. The normal way and the way I'm going to show you tonight would have increased your profit on the same exact trade by 99.68% using the daily deposit day trading system that I'm going to teach you right here tonight. So again, take a lot of notes. We're going to be covering a lot of stuff here tonight. All right. So again, something I want to make sure we're clear about here. Everything we're going to talk about tonight is for educational purposes. Okay. It's up to you to make the final decision how you plan to trade. What my job is here tonight, and hopefully I'm going to do an amazing job for you, is to help you to make better decisions. That's really the big thing I want to get across here tonight. Now, I can virtually guarantee you, and I don't say guarantee very often, I guarantee that there's going to be a ton of stuff tonight that you're like, wow, I didn't know that, or I wasn't doing that, or I didn't think that way. So please just give me your undivided attention while you're watching this video. You could pause it, speed it up, take notes, however you want to do it. But I'm really excited to bring this information from you. And I want to be clear. Our day trading community has been in existence for 6 years, but I've been day trading for 25 years. Actually, April of 2000 was when I just started. Hey, AJ, how's it going? So nice to see you here tonight. Really appreciate it. Hope you're doing great, actually. So let's get right into it. I want to respect your time. I want to make sure that we're covering everything that we need to cover tonight because there's a lot. So what I'm about to teach you tonight, what I'm about to go over, and if you know anything about what I normally do, I don't hold anything back. So what you're going to experience here tonight is actually the culmination of 25 years of me being in the day trading business. And the course that I just recently updated, or whatever language you want to call it, it's roughly a 4-hour course. I'm going to teach you as much of the course as I can right now, and you're going to have an opportunity to ask me questions live, or again, like I said in the comments. The name of the course is Daily Deposits, which is a day trading system. Now, depending on your experience, depending on your risk tolerance, your ability to write rules and follow the rules, daily deposits is the goal. Maybe not everybody achieves that on a regular basis, but I will tell you it is possible maybe weekly might be a little bit more realistic for some people, but even if you're just talking about for the week, it's been consistent. Raise your hand if consistency is the number one thing that you'd strive for right now. We typically get two things that people really, really want when they come into the business. Number one is they just give me a system and I'll follow it. And the other part of that is they just want to be consistent with their P&L. They want to see their P&L slowly growing each month, each week leading into each month. We're going to talk about goals in just a second and those kinds of things. But I want to say this, the consistency that you are searching for on your results. So in other words, the consistent growth, the consistent P&L, that happens with the consistency that you follow your trading plan and strategy and system and tactics. But I'm going to really do a big thing for you tonight. We're going to actually spend a couple of minutes on mindset, because no matter how good the system is, you are the person running the system. So the operating system that's up here needs to run the trading system. And we're going to break a few things down for tonight. And I really think you're going to be excited about what we talk about here tonight. All right. So this system, this is what I've been using live, teaching people for years. It's basically the opposite of everything you've probably been taught about day trading. Okay. Most traders go all in from the start, set some arbitrary profit target, either get stopped out or take tiny wins while watching the stocks rocket without them. So again, let's all be honest. Let's be friends here. How many times have you put on a day trade, maybe you had a little bit too much size, you couldn't get out of your chair because it was driving you crazy, right? Moves a little bit in your favor, take it off because you're afraid of it disappearing, or pulls against you a little bit, you panic out of the trade. That's not what we're going to talk about tonight. I have a lot of gray hair, but I want to walk you through probably one of the least stressful ways to attack day trading specifically. And again, I'm super honest with everybody. Day trading is really challenging. My job tonight is to help you understand it's probably a lot easier than you're making it right now. And by the time you're done with this video tonight, I'm going to open your eyes up to a lot of different mindset things, a lot of different strategic things, profit-taking things tonight. So I really want to, hopefully, I'm very excited about showing you this tonight. All right, so this approach that we're going to talk about tonight and we're going to review completely flips the script on what is normally done and normally taught on the day trading side of things. What we teach everybody to do, and what I do literally every day, you start super small on your idea that matches your strategy, then systematically add more shares as the trade proves you're right. And you want to write down that phrase right there, probability boosters. That's a part of the trade management. Now, I want to be super clear about this. A lot of people go down this big rabbit hole of, I need to learn more technical analysis. If I only had a better indicator, a faster computer, an algorithm, and AI for my stock trading, you don't need any of that. And we're going to talk about that tonight. But it first starts out with the mindset that we are going to take appropriate risk to initiate the trade on those great ideas that we like. And then just like an institution, we're going to build our way into those positions. And I'm going to show you this amazing, amazing trade that literally just happened today. I'm so thrilled that it was literally the day that we're recording this, that this happened, because it gave us a very, very relevant idea to use. And by the way, if anybody has any questions, drop them into the comments. I'll be more than happy to have a little back and forth with you. And then the next part here. All right. The best part of what we're going to teach you tonight is your actual risk goes down as your position gets bigger, because we script everything out in the trade management. Now, I really would just want to come back on that and really drill this home for you. A lot of people think on the day trading side of things, it's too busy. I can't write stuff down. I can't take a journal. I just got to react, right? If things are moving too fast for you to actually script out what you plan to do, you might be trading a little bit too much volatility or too much size relative to your experience level at that moment. So we want to dial it back just a little bit so you're in control. And then you'll understand when to scale up, maybe from a position sizing perspective, as well as a volatility perspective. So I want to be super clear about that. Hey, Khalid, how are you? Yes, absolutely. The recording will be available. We'll let everybody know about that. Okay. All right. So again, the big thing, we're going to flip the script on what most people think day trading is. All right. So let's talk about some outcomes. When we're doing this, and if you follow the process, you end up building a position without adding risk, which is literally impossible with traditional methods of putting on trades, because most people in the day trading industry believe that you need this massive share size and you want to catch that really quick super fast moving and then hit the road. The way that we do things, we kind of put on a trade, we let it breathe a little bit, we get some feedback, we make adjustments. If it's working out, great. We have literally a specific spot of volatility that we add to those positions. Only if we get positive feedback, it works its way away from us, we kick it out and we go to the next one. You got to kick those losses out. It is by far, and I'm going to talk about this in a second, one of the easiest ways to get closer to profitability faster is when you have a massive respect for accepting risk. And I'm going to talk about accepting risk in a lot of detail in just a minute. Okay. All right. So instead of capping our profits with profit targets, we are going to show you tonight how to let the stock's own price action tell you when the party's over using what we call a profit maximizer. Now, this is critically important. You're going to hear me do a lot of talking tonight about mindset and setups and those kinds of things. And you're probably tired of all the technical analysis and indicators and all those kinds of things right now. I use price action, candlesticks, a couple of moving averages and volume, and that's it. So you could do what I'm going to show you tonight. You could do on any software. I guarantee you could do it on any software. All right. But here's the thing, and this is really the big thing you want to write down. How you manage the winning trades and how you script your winning trades is what makes the difference between somebody who kind of gets day trading and maybe you're breaking even, a little bit of profit, a little bit of loss, you're under control, separating that from somebody who has massive, consistent, profitable gains and loves day trading more than anything that they love in the world, except for your family, of course, right? So write down that word, profit maximizer. We have two things that we talked about already, profit boosters and profit maximizer. And those are on the management part of the trade, right? It's not about a super secret entry signal. It's not about an indicator. It's not about artificial intelligence. You don't need any of that to do what I'm going to teach you tonight. Okay. I want to be super clear about that. All right. So profit maximizer, the result of using the profit maximizer is you're capturing the full meat of big moves with much less stress and less risk. Now, again, I don't say this lightly, but how do you reduce your stress and reduce your risk while you're day trading when everybody thinks it's like the most stressful thing ever? Day trading is stressful when you don't know what you're going to do next. That's it. It becomes stressful when you're reacting to every uptick, downtick, every candle, and you're letting price action shove you around. You want to be in control from start to finish, and you want to write this down. You want to say, if this happens, then I plan to do this. If it goes up to this level, then I plan to add. If it pulls back to this level, I'm going to move my trailing stop loss. Everything is scripted out when you're working with me. That's the super, if there is a secret, that's one of the secrets. And I want this really to be something special for you here tonight. All right. So maximum reward potential with controlled risk exposure, all because you're using a profitability booster instead of betting everything up front and hoping for the best. All right. Let's see. Hey, Eddie, how's it going? Where have you been? Miss you, Mr. Morning Stocks for breakfast. Yeah, we've been kind of busy. We actually moved into a new office, so things have been kind of jamming up. I will be getting back on those calls a little bit more, probably towards mid-July, maybe later July. But thank you for asking. It's great to see you here tonight. All right, so let's keep going. I got a lot to talk about tonight. So the result of less stress, thinking like an institution, building positions, 10 times less stress, and more consistency to the profitable trade. So really what we're going to be talking about here tonight is having the most shares when you're right and having the least shares when the trade's not working out. And I'm also tonight, a big thing, I'm going to help you reframe what it means to have a trading loss. Once you understand and put in context what a trading loss means, like that, you will never fear a loss again. You'll just see it as a part of trading. And instead of holding losing trades forever and getting stressed out of your mind and praying that they come back, you kick it out and you look for the next idea. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that here tonight. Eddie, it's great to see you here tonight. I really appreciate it. All right. So just a couple of things from the community. Obviously I could be all passionate and excited and everything. I want to show you what some of the people that have done with what I'm about to show you tonight. So I want to be super clear. This is the result of what you're learning on this video here tonight. All right. So the first one, you can see this was actually from Aaron just from a couple of days ago. Slowly adding to trades has worked well. So again, these are profitability boosters. And one trade in NVIDIA made his entire week. Let that sink in for a second. Now, I want to be super clear about this, and I want to be super honest, right? When I'm trading, and especially when I'm day trading, there's a lot of ideas. It's very common to have small loss, small win, small loss, small win. And then all of a sudden, a couple of trades take off. You use the profitability boosters, and those couple of trades per week make the entire week, which is actually what happened here. So I want to set your mind right that every trade does not need to make money, and they won't. And I'm going to show you in a minute. Let's also touch on that one thing that is like my biggest pet peeve that drives me bananas. Win-loss ratio. What's your win-loss ratio? I saw somebody on YouTube last week with 90%. Let me tell you something. When you understand the difference between a straight-up win versus a straight-up loss versus position management, where you might have two trades where you lost on this one and won on this one, but you lost a tiny amount on this one because you had a good plan for risk, and this one you scaled into, and the way I'm going to show you tonight, yeah, it's only 1-to-1. It might be 50%, but this one could be 10 times bigger than the loss. Win-loss percentage is not important. What matters is how much did your account go up. Now, of course, we'd like to have more winning trades, but we're going to show you tonight how to let the probabilities do the hard work. If you are stressed out and struggling every time you put a trade on and you can't look away, it just means you need to do a little bit of a better job of selecting your trades and timing your entries. But the way that we do things, and we're going to talk about it again tonight, when we start out smaller on our day trades and work our way into those positions, my gosh, it is so much easier and less stressful to be a day trader because you're not watching every single blip. I'm sitting back having coffee and just enjoying the business and falling in love with it. That's how I want it. Hopefully I'm going to get that across to you tonight. So again, Aaron, one trade made his entire week. And Tommy here is saying he's just started the new daily deposits course, only halfway through it, and a green day already. All right, so a little bit more. The big thing I want you to focus on this one is down here in the corner. Using this system, and this is really kind of bringing home the point that I really want you to take this home tonight. Wins versus losses, small losses, build big wins, right? Look what John's saying here about the losses since he started implementing the strategy, $15 to $35, where the wins are 80 to 200. That is a significant business model without taking a lot of risk. Let this sink in. We're not talking about having $1 million account. We're talking about doing it with the resources you actually have in your possession right now. And Jane, I'm so grateful to Jane's actually been in our community, I think, since day one. She's been with us for 6 years, knew nothing about trading when she came in, and she admitted that. You can see here on this trade, paid for her entire vacation in just one trade that we booked profits. And you can actually see Datadog actually had some earnings, into the S&P 500 recently. And we actually had that kind of volatility that we're playing. So I thought it was very important. It's one thing to get caught up in my excitement and how passionate I get about it, but to see other people and how they're doing. There was 4 different people all basically saying the same thing, that we're trading together, we're working the system together, and it's all about community. That's where the real success happens, so that we can kind of have a nice back and forth with this stuff. Let's see. Hey, Ed, first mentor was Pete and would not be profitable without the foundation I gained. Thank you, Ed. I'm very, very grateful for that. I really appreciate it. Okay, so let's keep diving in. I want to make sure we cover everything. So the agenda for tonight, we've obviously been talking about day trading for a living. We're going to get a little bit more into the mindset of day trading. We're also going to talk about some must-know basics. Like, there is some foundational stuff that no matter where you are in your day trading journey, there's certain stuff you need to know. And then that kind of flows into what we call day trading minimum viable criteria, which is a really, really big part of understanding how to day trade versus swing trade, what to focus on when the market opens versus how to plan. And that's really a big part of this as well. I think a lot of people can learn the technical aspect of trading, but one thing that we are very demanding, for lack of a better way of putting it, is you will know after that market opens exactly what to look for. And again, one thing you want to write down, another thing, again, I'm super big on Post-it pens, is when you know what you're looking for, you're never lost. And that doesn't matter if it's day trading or swing trading, but you especially need to know if that market opens, and when you're prepared, which I'm going to show you how to do that tonight, when you are prepared, you are literally saying, I know what I'm looking for, and now it's just a question of whether or not it's there, which is a lot easier from reacting to every candle that goes up or down. You're literally saying, I know what I want. Is it there? But even before that, you make a list of stocks that meet the criteria that you would want to day trade in the first place. And I'm going to show you that tonight as well. So you want to write that down. What is your minimum viable criteria before you will even consider looking for an entry? Okay, super important. I'm going to give you some of that tonight as well. We've talked about profitability boosters. We're also going to talk about probability boosters tonight. All right, so increasing and stacking the odds in your favor. And then when that happens, the probability boosters kick in. So I want to be super clear about this. These are two very different things. Probability boosters are on top of the minimum viable criteria. So it's like, here's the minimum criteria for me to even consider looking for an entry. And then when you stack these other things on top of it, and I'm going to show you the screen, actually what I use, you start to now increase or decrease your conviction, which increases or decreases your position size, which increases or decreases your expectation for follow through. Think about this. Every trade is not the same. Every trade is unique. So when you have a system to determine what is my expectation for follow through, how much order flow is on the same page, I'm going to teach that to you in a minute. What does that mean for how much risk I should be willing to take? So if we kind of take a look at the market, I'll actually kind of put this up here so you can take a look at it. We're kind of getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here, but this is actually what I look at when I am determining my level of conviction in sync with what I'm looking for in the stock. And I'm going to really walk you through all of this tonight. So again, like I said, I promised you we were going to get into a lot of good stuff tonight. And this is just one of the things we're going to cover tonight. So probability is getting a feel for expectation and conviction. Profitability boosters is what do we do after we put the trade on to increase the profit on that same trade without increasing risk. That's a big thing. All right. Okay. Now, just a little bit about me. This is more about you. This is really nothing about me, but it does kind of help to know who's talking. Probably one of my proudest moments, other than getting married, is Keystone Trading Group. We ran a prop firm in New York City for, I think it was 6 years roughly. I got tired of New York City, decided to come back down to Florida and relax. We had 300 traders globally. So the system that we're teaching you tonight was the foundation over there in New York. When we had the firm, we were on 7th Avenue and 34th in New York City. And we're going to give you a little bit more of the order flow stacking method here this night. And I'm going to show you the daily ticker as well. That's the newsletter I publish every day, Monday through Friday. All right. So let's talk about day trading as a business. Let's start to think like I am a day trader and I'm running a day trading business. We're going to get a lot into expenses and profits and those kinds of things tonight. Day trading is fast-paced if you don't know what you're doing. Now, I'm sure everybody knows the name Wayne Gretzky, right? I'm a big baseball fan. He was obviously a hockey player. But one of the things he's most famous for is he said everything slowed down for him when he was out on the ice. And the only way for things to slow down, such as what happens in day trading, is to know what you're looking for before you need to do it. So again, if this happens, then I plan to do this. If this happens, then I plan to do this. It's just a habit. You just get into the habit of saying it to yourself. And that screen that I showed you before, you just glance at it. You know what it means, and then you come back to the market, you come back to the stock you're looking to trade. And again, if you're going to move forward with me, you want to come and trade with me, I'd love to see that. We do all this together in real time. All right. Okay. So fast-paced, you need to know what you're going to do. Always if then, right? It's easier. Place orders. Don't overthink your trades, right? Once you get into the flow of what to look at, what to do, then really it's just a question of, all right, it's there, it's not there. Place your buy order, place your stop loss, place your add shares, and just let it play itself out. All right. Okay, so more day trading out of business. Let's talk about why people struggle. Let's talk about why people have this big negative thought process of what it means to be a day trader, to be day trading stocks every day, right? Number one, big losses. And big losses are relative, right? Big losses are relative to your experience, your risk tolerance, and your account, but they're also relative to the amount of money that you've proven you could make over a certain period of time as a day trader, right? So big losses, big killer, number one. Number two, don't have an actual edge. In other words, you don't have a system that says this happens more often than not. And when it does happen, there's a strong likelihood of it following through. I'm going to talk about that in just a second, a really big part of what we're going to get into here. Next, you don't actually trade that strategy. Once you do, build an edge. Now, let's all be friends here, right? Let's kind of, let's let our hair down. Raise your hand if you've broken your trading rules, even if you have trading rules. Everybody's done it. I've done it. But I want to be super clear. We all start here. We kind of all over the place, and we're breaking rules and trying 50 different strategies at a time. When you stop doing that and you start to eliminate, and just get to the point where you're like, no, that's all I'm doing. Oh my gosh, that's where also trading becomes a lot easier. Day trading stocks with the speed, cutting down how much you're looking at makes it 10 times easier. All right. Next, we're going to talk about too much focus on results instead of individual trades. Again, raise your hand if it drives you bananas that every trade you look at, profit, loss, and it's driving you crazy. Don't do that anymore. Our job as traders is to allow the edge to do the heavy lifting. Hey, Nasir, how are you tonight? Great to see you. Yep. Everybody's done it. So that's the whole point of working as a community. We want to break each other out of those habits and form new good habits. I think we have one of the best communities out there. Hopefully you're going to join me and come and see that with us. All right. All right. So next part of day trading as a business, how to succeed, right? Only trade with the order flow. Now, you obviously need to know what order flow is in the first place. We're going to talk about that in a lot of detail tonight as well. Trading with the dominant bias. Now, here's where people struggle. Picking up pennies on reversals will keep you broke. Now, everybody at some point in their career, they're like, yeah, I picked the top, I picked the bottom, and they think, yeah, that's great. That's a way to make money, right? It is a very, very tough way to make money as an active day trader. You want to have some confirmation that the stock is already moving in that direction, and we then find a spot to hop on board, and then I'm going to show you tonight how to work that position like a boss. That's what we're going to talk about here tonight. All right. Thank you, Nasir. Really appreciate that. Okay, so keep that in mind. Trading with the dominant bias versus trying to catch every reversal. I do the first. First, we say, is it obvious? If it is, if it comes back yes, then we look for a spot to read the tape. We're going to get into that right now. So learning to read the tape means picking a price that matters so you can know if the current bias is in sync with the dominant order flow. So in other words, order flow is the bigger picture dominant bias. And for example, you could possibly use the 10-period moving average on the daily chart. That's the bigger bias. And then reading the tape intraday, you could use something like the current hour to kind of reset that clock. So basically what I'm saying here is bigger picture going into the day, dominant bias like it is in the market right now, very strong, right, to the upside. After the market opens, you have now cut off the entire other side of the market, and you are only looking for a spot to buy. A lot of people do that, but a lot of people kind of get cute sometimes and look to short sell in a strong market simply because it's slowed down. Let's keep this simple, right? What's the dominant bias? And is what I'm looking at right now in sync with that bias? So I want to give you a clue on how we do it. We don't necessarily use moving averages intraday. We'll typically use VWAP and the hourly chart. So we're going to teach you a little bit more about VWAP in just a minute, okay? So implementation. Remember, I said I want you to be able to look at the market and say, I know exactly what I'm supposed to do as soon as that market opens. Order flow, bigger picture, tape reading, current picture. So you're reading the tape in the time frame you plan to enter, then cycle back up with the bigger picture, okay? Bigger picture, tape reading to enter, bigger picture pushes it in your direction. Super easy, all right? And by the way, if this is all new to you, watch the replay a couple of times, take notes, and put some comments below. I'd love to hear from you, all right? All right. So what are some of the skills? Big thing, get a good night's sleep. I know, what does that have anything to do with day trading? If you are not focused when that market opens, you are going to get sloppy. So I purposely put that one in there. When I had my firm, if somebody came in late, they weren't prepared, I was sending them home. I didn't care if their commute was an hour and a half or 2 hours. I didn't care. If you were trading my capital, I want to know you got a good night's sleep, and I want to know that you're ready to go for the day. You got to take it seriously if you're going to be in there with that speed, right? All right. Next, get good at placing orders and know when to use the right orders. We have limit orders, stop limit order, and stop market order. You need to know all three. They are not nice to know. They are must know. Now, the difference between a stop limit order and a stop market order, a stop limit order, it has to trade up or down to a price. That sends your that triggers it, and then the limit order is the worst, the best price that you could possibly get, right? You can't get worse than that. So I'll give you an example. Let's say something's trading at 49.75 and you want to buy when it gets to 50. So you would actually put your stop order up at, let's say, 49.95. So when it gets up there, it triggers, but you have a limit order at 50. So it triggers, and the worst you can get at 50, but you can get better, right? That's a limit order. You're limiting the price. You can't get worse than that. A stop market order trades up to that price or trades down like a stop loss. And as soon as it gets there, it sends out a market order. Now, just to give you a feel for how I normally do it, I typically use a stop limit order to enter my positions and a stop market order to get out if I have multiple orders and multiple trades on at the same time. I want to get my price when I get in, but if I want to get out, I just want to get out. I'm not really going to dilly-dally around the exact price. So that's important to know, all right? Commit to accepting losses as a business expense. This is probably one of the biggest things that I am known for. We talk about it all the time. A trading loss is a business expense. Write that down, burn it into your memory, put a tattoo on your arm, whatever you have to do. When you understand, and let's ask this question again one more time, right? How many serious businesses do you know that don't have any expenses? There's none. There is not a serious business on the planet that does not have an expense. Any serious business has expenses. And if you want to run a serious trading business, we're talking about day trading stocks here tonight, you have to accept the fact that you're going to have expenses. A trading loss is a business expense. You learn to control your expenses, and then you learn how to make more profits. That's the process. All right. And Lynn's here tonight. Love Lynn. Great to see you here tonight, Lynn. All right. So taking losses with ruthless discipline so you can eventually learn how to make profits. It's a two-step thing. Keep your expenses down while you're learning to run the business. When you learn to run the business better, then you get bigger profits with lower expenses, and now you're cooking with gas when you're acting with the day trade. All right, next. Then after you manage your expenses, have that same discipline to add to your winners and hold those winners. You might place 30 trades per week, maybe 5-day per average, but it only takes 2 trades to be massively profitable. I just want to touch on something here just to really kind of bring this home. Think about what I just said to you. Every book you've ever bought teaches you, or YouTube video, whatever it happens to be, teaches you, be disciplined on your stop losses, be disciplined, right? But what about being disciplined when you're winning? What about being disciplined when you have a great trade? What about having a plan for making as much as humanly possible on that good trade? Transfer that same discipline that you taught yourself on the downside to the upside, and you're going to be miles ahead of most people who try and trade for a living. All right. And I'm going to actually show you how to do that here tonight. All right. So day trading skills, in addition to that, insights on profit and losses. Your number one goal is to manage your expenses, losses, so you can gain enough experience to consistently earn the winners. And there is a skill to learning how to make more money. And I'm going to walk you through the initial steps of that here tonight. So think about what I'm talking about right now. These are the skills. And again, I'm going to say this a billion times, right? Chart reading is not trading. Get that in your head. The next time you're like, I need another indicator, I need to watch whatever, 1,000 YouTube channels for this super secret. You don't need more indicators. You need to admit that trading and chart reading are different skills. And when you focus yourself that much, now you're not like, I need more charts, I need to learn how to manage a position. Oh my gosh, everything changes because now your focus changes on what's important at that moment, which is taking losses, understanding how to work the winners. All right, super, super important. All right, consistent profits are possible. Might not seem like that to you right now, but they're definitely possible if and only if you treat trading like a skill that you're learning, not a get-rich-quick scheme. We're going to get away from that. Day trading is challenging. It's going to drive you bananas if you don't have a system and support, which is what we want to talk about here tonight and eliminate all that for you. All right. It's all about managing your mindset, managing your losses, and being patient with winners. Now, why did I underline those 3 keywords there? Managing, and being patient. How many people think that the market needs to do something for them to make money? No, we need volatility, but look at those 3 things I underlined. Managing, and being patient. Those are all in your control. Managing your mindset, managing your losses, and managing your winners. That's in your control. The success that you are looking for as a day trader is here. It's inside of you. I can virtually guarantee you will already know enough about technical analysis to be a really good trader, but we have to work on you and understanding that learning to trade is a different skill and a different mindset, which is why community, I think, is one of the most important things to learning how to do this, because you can ask questions. And I'm going to show you tonight how you can ask me questions every day. All right, day trading stocks. Day traders, especially new traders, want two things in the stocks that they trade: liquidity and volatility. You want to take screenshots of this. This is really important stuff. There are many people out there day trading light volume, low float stocks. I am not one of them. I trade market leaders. I trade stuff that you could look, you'll see in the newspaper, and it's in play for that day. Those are the stuff that we trade. We trade stuff that has liquidity so we can get in and out where we want, and volatility so we have a chance to get paid on a regular basis, right? So we can get in and out at good prices. And I just talked about the orders before. We want liquidity for orders. We want volatility for profits. Take a screenshot of this. This is very important. I do not day trade low float stocks. We want volume and liquidity, all right? So this is another screenshot you want to take. This is my current watch list of the stocks that I day trade virtually every day. It's just a question of which of these stocks are in play. I do have another list on top of this that I give to the community every morning, but I wanted to give you an idea how to formulate a list, what to do. You'll notice here, right? How many of those names don't you know? Probably know all of them, right? Maybe one or two that are recent stocks that we added in there, like CRWV, but we trade leaders and we trade them off the market. So again, when I showed you that screen before, we are reading the market, and then from the market, we're trading leaders that meet that minimum viable criteria. All right, take a screenshot of that. All right, now a critical shortcut to profitability. How's that for building it up, right? Until you are a consistently profitable day trader, your watch list should be 5 stocks or less for 90 days. Again, I told you I'm going to flip the script on everything you probably think day trading is about. 5 stocks for 90 days until you're consistently profitable. Can you stick to that? You might be like he's crazy. I'm going to lose out on so many opportunities, right? No, you're going to think that. Trust me when I tell you this, all right? Because of this intense focus on that group of stocks, similar to the one that I just showed you, you will never miss an opportunity. If the market is moving and the stocks that you are trading have a beta that matches the market, which means they move together, read the market, read the internals, which I'm going to show you tonight as well, and then trade the stock, because the stocks move much higher percentages than, let's say, the S&P 500. You are going to think you're going to miss opportunity, but actually niching down is going to give you better focus and more conviction. So if you are trading liquid stocks that follow the market, you will have much more opportunity than you will ever have available capital. Now, let's kind of tie this in, because you're going to be like, well, what happens when I start trading these stocks and I'm trading well? Why wouldn't I go and find other stocks, right? Trade bigger. You just opened up that business in those 5 stocks and you're doing well. Trade bigger in those stocks. You just spent all that time learning how those stocks trade. Add another 100 shares. Add another 200 shares. Grow that business to the point where you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I can virtually assure you that is the easiest, less stressful way to gain conviction, by knowing the stocks you trade. Learn to read the market. Learn to read your stock. Learn to time optimal entries. Learn how to build into a position. Learn, learn, learn. This is the trading part of it. Don't spend all those hours on trying to figure out the super secret candle. You don't need it. Start to focus on learning to become a trader. That's what we're talking about here tonight. Okay? All right, so let's keep going. All right, so day trading mindset, where the money is made. Hey, Sam, how's it going? Can you do a visual step-by-step? Not on this call tonight here, Sam. I just walked everybody through them, but we got a lot more to cover. If you want, at the end of this presentation, I'll give you some information. You can come into the community and you could ask me about that. Okay, there's a lot more to cover tonight than orders. All right, so the day trading mindset. Andrew, how's it going? I love seeing community members in here. That's absolutely awesome. Andrew, I hope you're doing awesome. All right, so the mindset, this is where the money is made. Remember we talked about before, managing, being patient. This is where the money is made. You want to put your cell phone on mute, turn off the TV, pay attention to this part, all right? The mindset for successful day trading. It is a numbers game, right? But what does that mean? Everybody says that, right? Individual trades are random. I do not care the best edge on the planet, right? Some trades are going to work out. Some trades are not. Get over it. We just talked before about losses, right? They're a business expense. Now, here's what I want you to really, really think about right now. Even the best edge, right? The best edge means most of the time it happens. But what else does that mean? It means absolutely sometimes it's not. That's the true meaning of an edge. So when we're talking about individual trade results are random, we're talking about a trade by trade basis. But this is the key. The results of a larger sample size of good trades are predictable. So how does that just like turn everything upside down for you? Raise your hand if you get stressed out about whether or not one trade made money. Stop that. If you come into my community and we work together, this is like one of the first things we work on to get your mind straight so that you can actually spend the energy learning how to trade and see trades and enter them and manage them and those kinds of things. Get over losing trades quickly. They're a business expense. As soon as you get that into your head and combine that with the fact that even sometimes the best ideas are not going to work out, that's just the law of averages. That's what it means to have an edge. It's the literal definition of edge. Most of the time, sometimes it doesn't, right? But over a large sample size of good ideas, it's very predictable. If you put on good trades, where is that? You put on good trades, manage your losses, and learn how to manage your winners. I'm gonna go out on a limb right now, and I'm just gonna like really say something that I think is a fact. I think most people watching this video understand charts backwards and forwards. I think most people understand how to take a stop loss. I truly do. I think what most people need to learn is how to manage winning trades. And that's the golden nugget that you want to take out of here tonight. And again, if you want to come and do it with me, I'm going to show you a little bit later how to do it. I'd love to have you in the community. We get this kind of help every day. And actually, Lynn's one of our chiefs in the community. All right. So numbers game part 2, win-loss percentage is a vanity metric. I already taught you that before. Of course, you want to win more often, but what matters is your average win versus your average loss. You want to write this down. It's something called trade expectancy. Now, if you take a look at this slide, these are real numbers, metrics that matter. Average winners, $967.12. Average losers, $246.13. When you have the math, and you go back to the beginning of tonight's presentation, John Campbell Smith was showing his losses versus his wins. That's a real business. If your losses are maxing out at $34 and your wins are 10 times that amount, let's say 6 times, I think in that description, that's a good business. This is the metric that matters. What do I make on my wins? Do I add to my wins? Do I hold my wins longer? And do I kick out my losses where I'm supposed to? That is the basic math of trading. You are making it way too complicated. This is what matters. I promise you. All right? Okay. Now, critical mindset tools. A trading loss is a business expense. This helps you let go of the trade because losses are a part of the business, not something to be feared. Too many people are afraid of losing money. You should not be afraid of losing money. It's a part of any business. We're going to talk about tonight the difference between taking risk and accepting risk, which is a big mindset thing as well. All right. It's easier to accept a loss because you understand the definition of edge, which is what I just told you. Most of the time it works. Sometimes it doesn't. When it doesn't, we pay the loss, pay the expense. When it does work, we learn how to manage the winners. Super, super organized. That's what you want. Every person we talk to says, I just had a system. You're getting one tonight, all right? An edge provides the outcome you expect most of the time, which explicitly means sometimes it doesn't, okay? God, take a screenshot of that. Managing risk and managing profits is trading. Chart reading is not trading. It's like you're going to hear me saying that forever until actually you start to believe it, all right? All right, dealing with success and dealing with adversity. I told you we're going to give you the real stuff here tonight. I'm not going to talk all about the rainbows and sunshine. There is adversity in day trading, and you are going to find out what you're made out of. That's a fact. But if you come into our community and you're working with us every day, you're going to get this kind of passion from us every day. So be prepared when you come in and start working with us. But there's two sides of the coin of adversity and success. There's actually a downside of success on the risk side that I'm going to explain to you right now. All right. So when you experience success, which again, I hope you do, you will lose all sense of risk and get arrogant. Don't do that. Always respect risk or the market will make you pay. I can virtually guarantee the more arrogant you get, the market is just waiting to smack you back down and say, whoa, 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 get back to managing risk and I'll offer some opportunity for profits. Okay. So what happens is you get so full of yourself, you're like, I can afford to risk more because I'm on a hot streak. No. Most people should risk either one of two ways: a percentage of their account or based on their track record. I just showed you some numbers before. How much do you normally earn? Why would you ever allow yourself to lose more in a trade than you make on average? That doesn't make sense. So right there, from your own track record, you're getting raw data to tell you what kind of losses you should have per day, per week, per month, depending on how your business generates profits. You're running a day trading business. What kind of profits does your day trading business typically earn? Think like a business owner. You are a business owner. You happen to be running a day trading business. All right. When you experience the opposite, you experience adversity, and you will experience adversity. That I can guarantee you. Here's a clue: cut back your share size, take a break, and think about the long-term viability of your business. Do not revenge trade. Don't double up. Don't trade angry. Don't go on tilt. Get out. Go shopping, go golfing, get away from your computer, because it'll be a lot less expensive than trading angry. All right. So success and adversity, both of them are a part of what we do. Everyone faces adversity. Winners focus on learning from it and getting better. Losers focus on the negative and make things worse. That I can guarantee you. When you catch yourself on tilt, get away from your desk, log off, go for a walk, come back with the fresh head. It's critical to remember that. All right. Day trading will give you plenty of opportunity to experience both success and adversity. Learn from day one. Right now, we're working together. Trading is a business, and your objective is to learn how to run it. Promise me, you'll make that your number one priority. I'm running a business. I need to learn how to manage my expenses and make profits. That's all trading is. Day trading just happens to give you a ton of more opportunity to get involved. All right. All right, now we're going to get a little bit more into the specifics. So I know a lot of people like to take screenshots and whatnot. Get ready to take screenshots. Get ready to take notes, because now we're going to get a little bit more into how to actually involve yourself after the market opens, and then compare that to actually trading, right? So we're looking at coming into the day with the right mindset, the right thought process. Now the market opens. What do we do now? And that's what we're going to talk about. So you want to write this down: minimum viable criteria. And we're going to call this some sort of advanced implementation steps, where there's actually a process to know exactly what you should be doing at every single moment, no matter what stock you're trading. All right. So minimum viable criteria, we call that MVC, the bare minimum you need to see before even considering a trade. Okay. This is very important. So I want to bring something up again as well. Something that we do in the community is you need to know what perfect looks like, right? You start out with perfect. And if perfect lines up, where order flow looks great, the intraday tape looks awesome, it's lined up at a great spot for an entry, let's say that looks like perfect, right? And you're going to associate perfect with a certain risk that you're willing to take based on expectations of what you think is going to happen in that trade, based on the way the market's at that moment, right? So think about driving. You get on the road, you're doing 65, and then all of a sudden there's traffic. You slow down a little bit, right? And then it opens up again. That's trading and trade management. Minimum viable criteria means you're moving away from perfect, but it's still a valid trade idea. But if up here is perfect and up here is your perfect risk amount, you move away from perfect. This matters even more, how we build and work our positions smaller first, and then work our way into those positions. Okay. So you want to take screenshots of some of this stuff. It's really important. All right. Minimum viable criteria provides structure. Again, every single person we speak to, if I only had a system, if I only had structure, you're getting it, part of that from me tonight. All right. Helps you avoid spur of the moment trades, which quietly destroy accounts and confidence. Raise your hand if you've taken a trade where you're like, why did I just do that? It doesn't match anything I said I was going to do today. Minimum viable criteria forces you intraday to say, this has to be there or I'm not going to do anything. How many people would that help, right? Yeah, everybody, right? That's why we invented it. That's why it's a big part of our system. Nothing until we see that minimum viable criteria, all right? Your biggest challenge will be using this criteria for fear of missing out. You're going to be fearful that like there's one big giant candle happening. Like, I got to chase it. If it doesn't meet the criteria, you relax, you sit back, you have your coffee, and you say, no, that's not part of my minimum criteria. All right. Super important. All right. Use minimum viable criteria on every trade, and you will be miles ahead of most other traders simply because you are intentionally avoiding bad ideas. And I'm going to talk about that in a lot of detail in just a second. Khalid, we're probably going to run maybe another 15, 20 minutes, and then we're going to get into a little bit of an opportunity to come and join me in my community. Okay. All right. So that last part is the part that you want to take a screenshot of. Take a screenshot of the whole thing, but that every trade minimum viable criteria. So I'm going to challenge you right now. Do you, as a day trader, have minimum requirements before you look for an entry? Most people get caught up. Tell me the entry. Tell me the entry. Tell me the entry. That's not the start. You have to first qualify the idea before you look for an entry. All right. And that's what the minimum viable criteria is. Start with your day trading watch list. Now we're getting very, very specific. All right. Actionable. I promised actionable stuff here tonight. All right. Start with your day trading watch list. Scan for stocks above key moving averages on the daily chart. Some people use the 10, some people use the 20, some people use exponential, some people use stochastics. It doesn't matter what you use. Keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be crazy specific. It needs to be something you use all the time. Keep it consistent. So the higher level, what does it look like on the daily chart? However you decide that means bullish or bearish, right? Then those go into your day trading watch list and validate if now is in sync with that. So when stocks meet both of these criteria, higher time frame, shorter time frame matches the higher time frame, you will only then look for an entry. So I want to be super clear about this because I want this to be actionable for you. Have some way of determining bullish or bearish. Right? Let's take with bullish. Everybody likes to buy, right? That's your list, and you're going to only look at that list. Then when the market opens, you might have a list of whatever, let's say 10 stocks, just for the sake of this conversation. Then the market opens. Your minimum viable criteria might not be present in that moment. So your list is going to fluctuate based on, yeah, there's 10 stocks in the list, but only 4 of them meet my minimum criteria. Then you focus on those 4. You see how kind of like everything is about drilling down to the best of the best? That's what we want to focus on here tonight and build out systems for the software to tell you how to do that. All right. And then finally, scanning examples, right? Basically, scanning examples. We're going to be looking at charts. So let's say maybe you're looking at popular software that we use. We use TradingView. There's scanners in TradingView. Maybe you're using FinViz, whatever it happens to be. What you want to make sure you do is decide what your criteria is. Decide what your minimum viable criteria is. Bigger picture, intraday. Some people use 15-minute trends. Doesn't matter as long as it's the same all the time. Build your list, build your scans. Now, here's the key. Once you have that built, that's all the work. Then you just have to let the market open. And now you're just basically saying, okay, float to the top of the day trading list for the stocks that meet the minimum criteria now. And only then do you look at it. So you're not working hard. The software, when it's set up properly, is doing the work for you because you understand what to put in the list in the first place. All right. And this is all, I'm just giving you like pieces of the entire daily deposits course here tonight. I want to be super clear about that, but I want to give you as much meat as I can. All right. Okay. So getting into some more specifics. We're going to talk about volume weighted average price. So what we're doing now is we're adding on to minimum viable criteria. All right. It's a technical analysis indicator that shows the average price of a security over a specific period of time, adjusted for its trading volume. Now, here's what this means. If I think everybody understands what a moving average is, right? I mean, who doesn't, right? VWAP, volume weighted average price, looks like a moving average, but it combines the volume traded at every price, which a moving average doesn't. A moving average only shows you the average of the closes. VWAP, volume weighted average price, intraday, is telling you where most of the shares traded, and there's a trend. So when VWAP is above or below, or when VWAP is trending, there is a dominant side that we can add to our minimum viable criteria. So you see how we're stacking now? We're adding on to how much we like the idea. So if we kind of take a look at a chart, we'll pull this back up here again. You can see here on the SPY, you can see here on the diamonds, and you can see here this line on the QQQ. That is actually VWAP. It is volume weighted average price. So take a look at today's price action and how dominant it was just by looking at that one piece of information. Now, what's interesting, just to kind of like really make this super interesting, is you can see that the first part of the day, the S&P for the first few hours was very strong. First 2 hours of the day, the Dow stocks. And right out of the gate, NASDAQ was negative today. So just using that information by having this stuff set up, remember the charts and the software do the hard work. You just have to say, is it there, right? Could not be any easier once it's set up properly and you're thinking correctly. So just out of the gate on that, we would not have been looking for NASDAQ stocks this morning. We would have been looking at other stocks because the NASDAQ did not have order flow in this period of time. So you see how like we're not guessing, we're not forecasting, we're just saying, what is it doing now? And how many pieces that I'm looking at to day trade are lined up? 1, 2, 3, 4 more. Conviction goes up or down. Position size goes up or down. And expectation. Again, we're driving the car. Open road, brake, gas, steering wheel. All of those kinds of things. We're making information based on what's unfolding. All right. I want to get really across to you here that day trading is not chaotic. It's only day trading when you don't have a structure, when you don't have a system. Once you have it, you're literally just saying, okay, I'm waiting for it to line up now. And then it does. You sit back, you're like, okay, now I'm going to start looking for an entry. It can be that easy. Trust me, but we need to go through the process of setting it up right, thinking right, and then understanding how to act right. Okay. All right. So getting a little bit deeper now into more stuff with entry setups. VWAP S is VWAP support. VWAP R is VWAP resistance. So you can actually see on the chart here, the line of VWAP, very, very strong stocks above, and decline to VWAP is a tremendous entry opportunity. Think about why. Again, we want this to be actionable for you, right? The reason it's a strong opportunity, especially when it's trending, is because VWAP is literally telling us where the buying happened, where most of the buying happened throughout the day as an average, volume weighted average price. Think about how significant that information is. It's literally telling us where most of the volume happened and where it's trending that day, that moment. VWAP should be put under your pillow and your new best friend. Trust me when I tell you, it is one of the strongest day trading indicators that you can add to your toolbox. All right. Okay. All right. Moving along. Now we're going to get into probability boosters. All right. First, we're going to talk about order flow stacking. Order flow are the buy and sell orders from the large institutions with deep pockets. They have deep pockets and big research teams. Order flow refers to the sequence of volume of buy and sell orders in the market. Order flow has 2 dimensions. Now, this next slide, I'm giving you a heads up. The next slide is the one that you want to take a screenshot of, right? But the keyword order flow, more capital invested over time and over a sector or industry group implies a deeper commitment and likely continuation. Think about the significance of this when you are looking to buy stocks. How valuable is it to you to know that more money was spent over a period of time and continuing to do it by the deep pockets that have? You think that you would be able to trade those stocks with conviction if you could read the order flow? Of course you would. Order flow stacking is a very big part of what we do in our community. Now, this is the part that I wanted you to take a screenshot of. I'll actually make it bigger for you, okay? There's 2 types of order flow. Time-based order flow stacking, which is observing how many pushes and pauses occur over time. The idea that if buyers keep coming back after each time it pauses or slows down, it's implying a deeper commitment because they continue to buy after the pause. The second kind of order flow is sector and industry attention. This dimension looks at whether stacked order flow that we just talked about here is not just limited to a single stock, but also present across an industry group or sector. Now, that might be obvious, but are you using it when you're day trading to make more money? When a lot of money is flowing into a sector, or more specifically an industry group, you need to know when that's happening, because if there's institutional attention there, you better have your attention with those institutions, because if they're putting money there and they keep doing it, why wouldn't we go there? That's a broken ATM. Let's stay there and make money and join them until we see the order flow change. And that's what we're looking at on those charts that I just showed you before. All right, I'm going to put this up. I want you to take a screenshot. It's really, really important, this slide. Okay, right there. 2 kinds of order flow, time-based, and then that same time-based order flow is spread out might call that market breadth. There's a couple of different ways to call that. All right, validating the order flow. These boosters are supplemental, but amplify the minimum viable criteria. Okay, this is really the important part here. Everything we just talked about is stock specific, sector specific, and working our way into the industry, such as semiconductor stocks right now with NVIDIA that just became a $4 trillion company today, closed for the first time over $4 trillion today, right? So we're going to talk about day trading, minimum viable criteria. That's the priority. We've already talked about that, right? Higher time frame, intraday time frame. Are they on the same side? What we're going to talk about now is adding to that, which is what I just showed you on the screen before. So we're going to talk about when there is alignment, there are much bigger moves likely. Okay. Simple order flow validation. Again, giving you very actionable stuff, right? Is it more than 2% for the last 5 days? You can run that in any scan. Or is the daily candle well bid? So when we're talking about well bid on a candle, and especially obviously we're talking about the day trading side of things, well bid basically means a higher high and a higher low on a daily chart. So look at this move here in the XLF. It was well bid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row. 6 days in a row, the market was telling us we're holding higher lows, we're making new highs. And again, the next day, holding higher lows, making new highs. So they're supporting the bid and pushing stock higher. It's that simple, but you have to use it every single day, every single moment. But again, this is going into the day. Once the day's open, it becomes a lot easier. The software is doing all the hard work. And I'm going to show you in a minute how we actually call the trades out for you and point them out to you. I'll actually show you that right now because Lynn's actually on the call with us right now. We bring that in there. So I don't know if you could actually see it, but you can actually see here in the day trading room, you can see that we are literally telling you the order flow on individual ideas. Let me actually bring that in a little bit for you. So you can actually see that we are calling out the order flow in the stock at the exact moment that it's unfolding. So one of the things that makes us different, and we hear this from everybody, is a lot of communities. And again, I know there's a lot of really nice people out there, but I think one of the things that we do differently is we discuss the trade from start to finish. It's not just there's the buy, there's the buy, there's the buy. We have real-time conversations about here's what I'm seeing, here's why I'm seeing it this way, and here's what that means to managing the position. There's also the part where stay away, there's nothing going on. We spent a lot of time on our game plan call Monday morning and in the newsletter this week where I was very clear. I expected the market to kind of chop around and not have as much volatility. It's been up, but it's on bullish gaps because next week earnings season starts and there's a lot more going on next week. And these are all mindset things that we put out for you every day in the newsletter as well. Okay. All right. So let's continue with validating order flow. Now, upping the edge even more. So we want to keep advancing our conviction in ideas. Now, I want to be super clear. Like, oh my gosh, there's so much. You're glancing at it. You're glancing at it. You're glancing at it. You're not studying all this stuff. You're not looking at every up and down. Like, okay, there it is. I know what that means. And I'm going to show you what that means right now. But we're going to talk about a couple of very specific things. The tick indicator, the advanced decline line, and the VIX, and relative volume. So I'm going to show you on this screen right here. So I showed you this before. We were looking at the market. Now we're amplifying order flow. We're amplifying what the market's doing. We're amplifying, is it above or below VWAP, right? This chart right here is the advanced decline line. The advanced decline line is all of the stocks traveling up or traveling down on a 5-minute chart. The advanced decline line is telling us, is there market breadth doing the same thing? And is it trending in that moment that we're trading? So I'll give you a perfect example. Look at what was going on across all stocks for the first all the way up until 2:30 in the afternoon today. And then we started going sideways. Big difference in whether I'm stepping on the gas, expecting bigger profits versus we're just kind of chopping around. There's no bias in this moment, even though an hour ago we were doing 75. That's what it means to amplify your analysis. Now, here's what I want to get across. How long did that take us? 3 seconds? Once you understand what to look at, it's like, again, you just glance at it. What does it mean? Glance at it. What does it mean? And what does it mean for position size? What does it mean for how I plan to hold this trade? What kind of profits am I going after? Next, we're going to talk about the tick indicator over here. And you want to write this down. There's one for NASDAQ as well, but we mostly watch the New York Stock Exchange tick indicator. It's an indicator that basically, it looks like it's all over the place, right? I'll actually make this bigger and you can see, you can be like, oh my gosh, that thing is confusing, right? But pay attention to the lines we have on the chart. This line across the middle is 0. The line on the top is 500. The line on the bottom is negative 500. Above 500, closer to 1,000 is very bullish. Below negative 500 or down to negative 1,000 is very bearish. And then we have the zero line. So as long as prices are stuck between plus or minus 500, there's not a lot going on. We start to expand above that. We sit up in our seat and we say, okay, there's a lot of stocks doing the same thing right now. So essentially what the tick reading is telling us is it's the current market momentum at that moment. So remember what I said before. We first learned to read the market, which is on this chart as well. So let me just put that up here again. So I'm going to show you how to use this whole thing right now. We're learning how to read the market. That's these three charts, NASDAQ, SPY, and the Dow. Where is it relative to VWAP? Where is it relative to the current hour, right? Boom, takes 2 seconds. Great. Now we look over here, and now we're getting a feel for, can we amplify what we're seeing on the individual market, okay? Top right-hand corner over here is the VIX. I think everybody at some point has heard about the VIX, the volatility index. We watch the VIX. Matter of fact, all of those charts that I just showed you, the tick, the VIX, and the advanced decline line, I used them all on 5-minute candlestick charts. The VIX moves in the opposite direction of the market. When the market's going up, the VIX is going down. So we're using this as a validating indicator to tell us, continue to be bullish, nobody's scared. When the VIX reverses and starts to head to the upside, and especially when the VIX is trending to the upside, that means a little bit more fear is coming into the market. They start pricing options volatility a little bit higher, and you're likely going to see sideways or down. Now, how does that affect us? Well, if we get all these readings, but the VIX is spiking to the upside, there's some sort of fear coming into the market. Option pricing is getting moved around a little bit. So what do? 2 seconds, look at it. Okay, I'm going to scale back on my size. I'm going to maybe take quicker profits because perfect is moving away from that, and now we're leaning on what's unfolding now. Again, think about what I'm talking about right now. If you think day trading is confusing and chaotic, all we're doing is we're giving it structure. And once you have that structure, then the only thing left for you to do after you set your charts up is manage risk while you learn how to manage winners with us. And that's the whole point of the community. I just showed you the community. Okay. All right, let's keep moving. I want to make sure that I give you as much info as possible. The last thing I want to talk about here is relative volume. We get a lot of questions about how do I know on a particular day when a stock will go further than what it normally does for a day trade, right? We're going to talk about it in a minute about don't limit your profits. Relative volume is what the stock normally does on a particular day, right? And you can run scans. There's a whole bunch of different things you could do, but I generally like to look at, see, when is the stock doing 1.5 or more greater than it normally does? So if a stock does 1 million on a day, is the average looking like it's going to do 1.5 million volume, right? That means that there's institutional attention on that stock, and now we should pay attention to it. Again, think about how simple some of this stuff can be when you just reframe it and you stop making it so complicated, right? Above average volume, institutions are paying attention. Maybe I should pay attention. Now, the obvious question is, but how do I know how to trade it? Minimum viable criteria. We already talked about that. You see how all these pieces are coming together? It just takes a little bit of time to get used to looking at them and looking and putting them in order. Setting up the software is probably one of the hardest things to do. Not hardest. It's the hardest of what we're doing, because once the software is set up, we're literally then just saying which stocks meet the minimum viable criteria, and then we make our trading decisions from there. It is a lot less stressful than most people make it. I promise you that. All right. Okay. All right. Moving along. Now we're going to get a little bit into the power pyramid. We touched a little bit before on the order flow and order flow stacking. And one part of order flow stacking was time. The other part was sector and industry groups. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that. And it's because of conviction. So I want you to be thinking about this right now. What I'm about to teach you is going to affect your conviction, and your conviction should affect your position size and your profit expectation. How far do we think it's going to go, right? So the power pyramid is a way of looking at the market as a picture where the foundation is the NASDAQ, the SPY, the S&P 500, and the Dow. That's kind of like the biggest foundation underneath it. Everybody knows when that 3 layers of the market is doing the same thing, all that money's on the same side. You need to take a step up, right? But let's talk about it a little bit different. When all that money's on the same side, we are now getting to assess our conviction levels. again, I like to keep things simple. Think about driving. You don't drive the same way all the time, and you shouldn't trade the same way every time because there's new decisions, there's new information, there's new things unfolding in front of you. The power pyramid is a very quick way, and I've already showed it to you, by the way, is a very quick way of deciding how much do I want to be involved now, if I want to be involved now. All right. So let's work our way through this. And I want to show you the visual because this is really what's important. The bottom line is we're assessing how long and how wide, meaning sectors and industry groups, to determine the quality of the idea. So we're stacking reasons on top of the stock. So this is the visual right here. If you could visualize this as a pyramid, is the market obvious? Yes or no? Great. You have that layer of foundation under your idea. Then you go up to the sectors, technology, industrials, financials. They're all very hot at the time that I'm pointing this out. Then we go another step higher. Which industry groups within the sector that is following the market should I be looking to trade? And then you pick a stock. Now you might be like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. No, I already taught it to you. We already talked about NASDAQ was garbage the first 2 hours this morning, and we wouldn't have traded it, maybe at least the first hour. So just like that, you made a decision. Right now, the NASDAQ's not doing what I want. That part of the foundation is not there. I'm going to go look elsewhere. Well, where would I go and look for other ideas? Well, that's what these charts are for. Oh my gosh. Healthcare, really strong first hour. There's attention on healthcare. Maybe I should go and look at healthcare stocks and see if my minimum viable criteria is there to set up an opportunity. Did you see what I'm doing for you right now? And I hope I'm shattering every thought that you had about day trading. When you're structured, it's, dare I say, simplistic. It's a question of being flawless in what you're looking for and flawless in how you read it. Okay. All right, let's keep going. We got a bunch of stuff I want to make sure we get to. I promised I keep delivering for you tonight. All right. Now we're going to get into profitability boosters. This is really where everything changes, and I'm so excited. We had a great trade just from today that everything we could have possibly wanted to happen, to give you a good example from tonight, actually unfolded today. All right. So this is the important part here. Write this down. Same trades, but more money. How critical is that? And we're going to even get into it without risking more. So we're going to talk about your best setups. Before we actually get into the profitability booster, we have to qualify what we're looking at and how we're thinking about it, right? Because none of this works if you're taking crappy ideas. We need to be super clear about that, right? How to lose less so you can get profitable quicker. We get this question all the time. How do I get profitable quicker? Lose less. By a mile, it is the fastest way to get profitable quicker, by losing less so you're not digging yourself a hole. And the only way to lose less is to understand what quality ideas look like, but more importantly, understand what bad ideas do not only to your account, but to your mindset. And when you learn to stay away from them, again, day trading becomes a lot easier, all right? Less stressful too. So you want to focus on trading your best setups, all right? When you lose less with better trades, you're instantly moving closer to profitability. So let's say we have these 10 trades here. Some are winners, some are losers, but they're all good ideas. At the end of those 10 trades, if you took your losses, built your positions properly, you should be in pretty good shape, right? You're letting the edge do the work instead of you. Now, here's the opposite of that. Maybe you could relate to this, right? Mediocre trades. You take 10 trades, you got a garbage one there, a garbage one there, a garbage one there, a garbage one there, and now all of a sudden the edge is all screwed up. This is what happens when you struggle with poor setups. You feel like trading is a struggle. Think about this. Raise your hand. Just think about it. How many times do you put on a trade like, oh my God, I can't even leave my seat? That's because the ideas you're choosing do not have order flow. The order flow is not stacked. The intraday time frame is not aligned with the bigger picture. When you start to eliminate these garbage ideas, it's not a struggle anymore. It's just a question of follow through and how you manage the losers on the ones that don't work out. But when you throw in these garbage ideas because you don't have minimum viable criteria, then it's very challenging. So I've already given you multiple examples here tonight of what that looks like, to only look at good ideas and how to find them. Now, adjusting risk. There's no reason to get run over. This is one of the biggest things I hear that drives me bananas. Well, I said on the trade I was going to lose $500, so I'm going to lose $500. It doesn't have to be that way. That's like getting on the road. You're driving 75, and all of a sudden there's traffic, and you're like, I'm in a rush. I'm driving 75 no matter what. Who in their right mind would do that? You slow down, right? That's what trade management is. If what you expected to have happen is not, make a different decision. The only thing that matters is protecting your capital until a few ideas work out. Please write that down. Protecting your capital is job number one. Super important. All right. All right. So adjusting risk. There's a difference between being afraid of a loss and the situation changing. If you set up good trades, most trades should work out quickly. You'll need to determine if the trade idea is still valid and taking its time, or if it's an ugly red candle and the edge has changed. There's nothing wrong with taking some shares off. If I love the idea, but I'm uncomfortable, I'll lower my position size. I don't care about being right or wrong. I care about whether I'm comfortable in the trade. If what I expect to have happen happened. If not, I'm lightening up. I'm here to make money in the long term. I'm not here to prove myself right. And I hope you can do the same thing. You can always put those shares back on, but if the trade reverses, you've lowered your risk. Please take a snapshot of that. That is a critically important slide to pay attention to. All right. Now, one of the bigger things, adding to winners, step-by-step trade management. This is really, really important. This is really where the money's made. All right. Adding to winners. Perhaps the most obvious, super secret way to increase your profits without taking extra risk. Let that sink in for a second, because most people think you have to really size up and get big in order to make big money. You don't. You need to start small, manage the downside while you learn how to make the upside. That's what our entire community is all about. All right. So without a position sizing plan on how to work those positions, you'll end up having more shares on your losers, God forbid, because you added to the loser, and less shares on the winners because you didn't add to the winner. This is critical stuff here. And again, remember what I said before, there's a difference between chart reading and trading. Right now, we're talking about trading, how to run a day trading business. All right. So let's flip the script here. From this moment forward, master the process of flawlessly taking losses and systematically adding to winners. Please do me a favor. Just whether you type in yes or you say yes to yourself, just think about it. Promise yourself from the very next day that you trade, you're going to master flawless losses and systematically add to winners. Make yourself that promise, because it's a new habit you need to build. All right. If you're looking for the trading holy grail, that's it right there. And I don't say that lightly. I've been trading a long time, like I said, since April of 2000. Right. I owned a day trading firm. I went through millions and millions of trades with the people at my firm in my own trading. That bullet point right there is the single biggest thing that will change your life as a day trader, bar none. Okay. All right. Rules for adding to winners. You want to take a screenshot of this guy as well. Rule number one, it must be systematic. It must be the same process for every trade. Now, notice I said same process for every trade, not the same amount. In other words, not the same price. Every stock has a different volatility. So each volatility is going to be different. Tesla might have a volatility of $5 at that moment. Citigroup might have volatility of $1.50, right? It's got to be based on that stock. But whatever it is, however you calculate it, it has to be the same all the time. Rule number two, when you add, you must have a system for adjusting trade management. This is where people get lost. If you're adding, you need to have a system for what I plan to do with the other shares I already had. We systematically move them up. We have a system for moving trailing stop losses and booking the downside that we just had. The best case scenario is you want to add to a position, and the worst thing that could happen on that trade is you're simply going to give back the second position but break even on the first. So basically what it would mean is you're going to have a small loss or a really big win. Sign me up for that for the rest of my life. I would love for that to be the case. All right. Rule number three, you must accept that some unrealized gains will be lost in the pursuit of bigger gains. This is the part that drives people crazy. But what if I have a $500 profit and I added and it pulled back? Okay, that's a part of trading. Get over it. That doesn't matter. And I'm going to show you in 3 seconds, maybe 3 minutes from now, exactly what I mean. Take a small loss, take a small profit. Sometimes those small profits are going to come back. That's a part of running a trading business. Let's get our mindset right now. It doesn't matter. Rule number four, never add a higher share amount than your previous purchase. I generally do 300, 200, 100 as a ratio, but never a bigger amount as it moves in our favor, because then you have a top-heavy pyramid And if that thing pulls back a little bit, you're losing the most at the worst price. So always add sequentially the same amount or a lower amount. Rule number 5, immediately place your stop loss orders. Let price action manage the trade. As soon as you get filled, place your stop loss. As soon as you add, move your trailing stop loss higher. It has to be a part of your process. Take a snapshot of those 5 rules. I promise you'll be glad that you did. All right, how to add to winners. Mindset number 1, don't overthink it. Don't figure out to the exact penny and calculate an algorithm. It doesn't matter. Our initial goal is to develop a habit of adding to winners to break the emotional habit of taking quick profits out of fear. Raise your hand if you have taken a fast profit because it felt good and then the thing just kept going. It's a habit. It's a mindset. It's a fear. We have to break that with small new actions. All right. Mindset leading to good actions. Our goal is to get more when it's working. Building a position is 10 times less stressful than starting with max position size. So essentially, if you lose, you're going to lose with less on your initial entry. But when you get follow through, you now have a bigger position. So you get more when it works out and a lot less when it doesn't. That's just good business math, right? All right. For day trading, volatility is the metric that we use for adding to winning trades. It could be average true range. It could be stochastics. However you decide to use it, whatever you use, keep it the same way. We happen to use something called average true range, right? Now, here's an important thing. People, do I need to wait for a pattern when it gets there? No, I do not wait. When I get filled on my first piece, I'm immediately putting out my buy stop for the second order. As soon as it happens, if that thing explodes and moves in my favor, I want more because I'm getting validation from the market. Now, the profit maximizer. This is where you turn hundreds into thousands without adding risk. And I'm about to show you a trade just from today. All right. Profit management. Rule number 1, never limit your profits. Let price action take you out of the trade. We use the profit maximizer to manage winners in a structured, repeatable way. Profit maximizer is my proprietary trailing stop loss strategy that eliminates the emotional aspect of managing winning trades. And let's just really kind of talk about this for a second. We talked about before that everybody understands a stop loss, right? It's down there and I'm getting out. The problem with managing winning trades is like there's no level up, like it just could keep going, right? And there was a trade today. I'm going to show you in just a second. That's the hard part. You want to put a price target on it, right? But who says how far it can go? And I'm going to show you an example right now. Never limit your profits, but have a system that says it changed. Now I need to do something. As opposed to saying, I'm up 300. I got to take this thing. What if 300 could have been 700? Don't limit it. Make what you're supposed to. If you did the job, get paid. All right. I'm going to show you some examples here. Actually, one really giant example. All right. If adding to positions is the rocket fuel, the profit maximizer, having a systematic way of managing winners, puts the winners into orbit. And I'm going to show you a trade in just a second. I know I keep saying that, but I want to make sure you stick around for that. The number one reason smart traders don't see consistent big wins is because they cut their winners short. Raise your hand. Everybody has done it, and maybe you're still doing it to these days, right? To achieve your full potential as a day trader, you must have the same discipline on the winners. The biggest benefit of using a profit maximizer is when you capture bigger gains, it makes it easier to take the small losses with emotion because you're excited that you're exiting the losing trade. You get your capital back, and now you can go deploy it to the next big idea. Let that sink in for a second. Taking losses becomes easier when you understand how to make money because you're getting your capital back, and now you can put it into the next idea. Put the trade on, pay the expense, get the capital back, go to the next idea. No stress. That's the way day trading is supposed to be. But it can only be that way if you understand how to run this business, which obviously is our specialty, which is why I'm so excited about it. Okay. All right. Take a screenshot of that slide, especially this bottom part here. Okay. Taking losses is easier when you learn how to make money because now you're not hoping a loser comes back. You want to get your capital back to go and make money again. As soon as I get out of a trade, I'm like, okay, where can I make that money back? Immediately. And I want you to think that same way too. All right. All right. So we're going to talk about a trade from today. This is actually United Airlines, right? So we're going to talk about a trade. United Airlines, there was actually earnings today in the industry group. So you can see here, this is what the stock did today, right? So we actually did talk about this today in our community pre-market. So I do want to give like kind of full transparency on this, right? So you can actually see here, this is this morning, 7:10. This is our game plan. And you can see over here, 9:07, we talked about the airline stocks being in play. So I don't want to make it sound like I'm like armchair quarterbacking. Oh, anybody can do that, right? We talked about it in our pre-market game plan, right? So we're going to show you a trade without a profit maximizer and without building into the position. So you can see here, this is the daily chart, and this is what the stock did. It looks a little scrunched up here because this was the big gap here, so the chart's off a little bit. But you can see this is where it opened. This right here is one of our entry setups. There's a couple of different ones on the chart, but there's actually two that are unfolded there. And you can see what the stock did the rest of the day. Now, what if you said, it went up, I'm up $300, let me get out of this thing, right? And it did this. I'm just using a simple trend line here as a way of showing you how it rolled over, right? So let's say we bought 300 shares at this moment in time over here. And at this time, that entry signal was 87.48 from this morning. So you can go look up the chart. And let's say that we let this thing take off. And let's say we rode it this entire distance, right? We're going to give the whole, we stuck to this thing the whole time. Yes, we held on to the entire trade, right? And we got out all the way up here where that blue line happened. And I'll show you a bigger shot of this, right? So let's say we held the entire trade. Raise your hand if that's amazing, right? Just let's think about this. Raise your hand if you're like, this is awesome. I got in the trade. I held it all the way until it turned over. Everybody would be excited about that, right? Not people in our community. And I'm going to show you why, right? Let's go over the math here, all right? So based on this trade, 300 shares, this would have been a total profit of $1,500.42 from today, okay? Not bad, right? Pretty good. Now I'm going to show you the difference between building a position, planning to build a position, not putting limits on how much money you could make, and using a profit maximizer as simple as the trend line that we just drew, okay? Same exact chart, but now you can see there's two more lines in here. There's the entry line where we added once and then where we added twice. So what did we do? Bought 300, added 200, added 100. Same exact trade. What does that translate into? Same exit. The other trade was $1,542, and you celebrated because you held the thing, which is good, but there's knowledge you don't have that would have translated into this. Same exact trade, $3,079 as opposed to $1,542. Same exact trade. Let me ask you something. Do you think learning how to do this could make a difference in your P&L by the time the end of the month comes around? You bet your last dollar. And this is the difference between you want to learn more about charts versus what you should be learning is I want to learn how to be a trader. Same exact trade, same initial entry, same exit. Double the profits on the same trade. This is what having a structured process for learning how to day trade does for you. Everything we talked about so far led up to this moment. Okay? All right. So what does this translate to? We talked about this at the very beginning today. 99.68% bigger gain on the same trade. And you could actually see here, this isn't even a complicated profit maximizer, just a simple trend line up in this area over here. Same exit, almost double the profit. Type yes in the chat if you think that would make a big difference for you over the next 12 months. Same exact trade. There's some knowledge missing if you celebrated that initial entry and the exit, but didn't make as much as you possibly could have. Okay, this is from today. I didn't pull up a perfect example from 20 years ago. This is from today. All right, and I'll show you a little bit bigger view of the chart. But before we do that, what I want to do now is up until what we've done right now, this is just the training. This is just the course. Like this is only even a part of the course. I haven't really even got into the full because we just don't have enough time. I would love for you to come and work with me. I would love for you to come into my community for the next 12 months. And like I said before, I've never opened up just my day trading community to anybody, but we decided to do it now for the back half of 2025. And we want to grow our community with people like you. So this is the very first time that we're introducing just a day trading community as a membership with us. And obviously it's called Day Trading Pro. And I want to walk you through what Day Trading Pro is and how to get involved with me and my community and Lynn over the next 12 months. Okay. And I want to be super clear about this. I I very, very rarely offer discounts or anything along those lines. We're doing this because this is a founding member tuition, founding member investment for the next 12 months. So this is a massive discount for the next 12 months that you will never see again after this campaign is over between now and the end of the week. Okay, I want to be super clear about that. But I want to now walk you through everything. Tonight, we only showed you the process tonight. We actually haven't shown you all of the things that support the process. All right, so let's get into that right now because I'm really excited to introduce this to you tonight. So what we just showed you is the daily deposits training. Okay, I'm going to walk you through everything that's included in the daily deposit course. Order flow stacking, how to identify institutional accumulation very quickly, minimum criteria. There's more than we talked about tonight. Our position sizing formula. The course alone is $995. Now, obviously, I want to show you what's in it because that's really, really important. So when we get into the daily deposits course, you can actually see here there's 25 lessons in the course. So you can imagine I just showed you a part of it tonight. There's a lot more into day trading for a living. We have sections on mindset. There's more basics that are part of setting up your charts. We have advanced stuff for minimum viable criteria. We have an entire section on boosting the probability of your wins. And then we have a full 5 lessons on boosting the profitability of those same trades. And hopefully that chart I just showed you before really drilled that home. Nearly double the profit on the same trade. Just think personally how much that would make a difference for you right now. Same trade, double the profits, understanding how to work those positions, right? So the next part of our community is implementation. Now, this is really important because having the information and understanding how to set up your charts is not the same thing. There's an entire part of our community where we actually help you implement and set everything up so that I've said it up 5 times tonight how easy it can be. It's easy when you're setting it up properly because you're literally just sitting back and saying, okay, I got everything set up. Now I just have to go and wait for the winners to float to the top and then look for entries, okay? So we have an entire course on setting it up, and we'll offer extra help because there's also coaching sessions, which we're going to get into right now, okay? All right. All right, so in the implementation course, there's live trade examples and case studies, entry and exit execution strategy. Somebody was asking before about order types. We're going to talk about those as well. How to read the tape and the order flow in real time. So again, think about this. I promised you at the beginning, I want you to know when the market opens the next day exactly what you plan to do. Implementation and actionable is a very important thing to me. I want you to, it's not just about volume of material. This is about as tight as you can possibly get. It's about you understanding the market opens on Monday. You know exactly what you're looking for and you know exactly what you plan to do. There's a massive difference between implementation and knowledge. I want to help you with implementation to get those results that we just showed you. Okay. All right. So the implementation course, that by itself is $495. Now we get into some really super tactical stuff where we get down and dirty together. We have 2 live coaching calls per week. You can ask me questions on exactly what we're doing right now, Monday night and Thursday at 12:30. Monday night is an open Q&A. Anything you want to talk about trading related, we'll give as much time as possible. The more detail you give me, the more answer I'm going to give you because the better you tell me to help you, the easier it's going to be for me to help you. Thursdays, we do trade reviews. Trade reviews are any stock, any position that you want to talk about or you're thinking about trading. Those calls are dedicated to reviewing either a trade you took, how you managed it, size-wise, management, losses, profits, all those kinds of things. How'd you see it properly? All of those are recorded. So when we talk about the trading coaching, all of that goes into an archive and you will have the coaching sessions. And this is actually what they look like. Let me bring this in here for you. So every single call is not only a part of the archive, but you'll also get a rundown of everything that was discussed in the call and all of the trading related quotes. So we do this for you for every single trading session. Where not only that you can attend and ask or post your questions to ask if you can't make the call, then after the call, we give you these summaries and then you can go and watch the replay. We are dedicated to you actually learning how to use it, not just having the information. Super, super important. Okay. I want you to really understand that implementation is one of the most important things to me. All right. So 2 calls twice, Monday nights and Thursday at 12:30. If you can't make either call, Leave your question. We'll answer it for you. You can watch the replay, and then you'll get the summaries, okay? But we take this up even a step further. So here's all the things that go on in the coaching sessions, right? Everything, market conditions, entries, whatever you want to talk about, we dedicate the time. Calls can last anywhere from 45 minutes to 2 hours, depending on how long they are. If you can't make it, don't worry about it. You get the archive, right? And you can see there every Monday night for the year, every Thursday for the year, right? Unless there's a holiday or something like that. $995 value just on those alone, right? Think about tonight. We're just talking about after hours, what the market looks like. What would it be like for you to be having these discussions during market hours? That's really what I want to get across to you, right? Okay, so obviously the trade review sessions on Thursday, there's almost 50 of them, depending on holidays and whatnot. $995 is that. Daily research, the daily ticker. Now, this is really where it gets kind of like really siloed down and becomes easier. I threw a lot of language at you here tonight, right? Well, I write a newsletter every morning for you to walk you through everything. I go from the most important stuff all the way down to what the market's doing, down to sector rotation, which stocks in the market are at what we call optimal entries, and also talk about the trades that we're in on that as well. So let me show you what that looks like so you can get an idea of the research that I'm doing for you every day. So this is actually, it's actually today's daily ticker. So you can see how the depth of the research that gets published for you every day, usually somewhere between 7 o'clock and 7:15 in the morning. I'm doing all of this for you. So I'm actually showing you my thought process of everything from start to finish. What's important? Why is it important? How does this translate into what we should be looking at? And you can see there's a big breakdown of everything. And now you can start to see, this is really want to draw your attention. Now you're going to start to see the power pyramid here, which I taught you a couple of minutes ago. Market analysis. What's the market doing? What does that mean? Any economic numbers that are coming out? Any earnings coming out? And actually, again, this is today's game plan. This is why we had that monster win today, because it was in the game plan. So I'm giving you that prior to the market openings. Now we're going up the power pyramid. We just looked at the market. What are the sectors doing? So you can see I'm actually giving you the order flow stacking. We go through the sectors. I tell you which stocks, and this is our proprietary order flow mapping technology, which stocks and which industry groups within those hottest sectors. I'm giving you this every morning. It's a part of the membership, okay? Once we work our way through the stocks and the industry groups, we get a little bit more specific to which industry groups and which stocks are at optimal entries. And then we work our way all the way down into trade ideas, okay? So I want to be clear. That might have seemed like I taught you a lot tonight, which I hope, right? But every morning, I am literally walking you through that and showing you how to use it. Now, I'm giving you the roadmap every morning. I hope that's really important to you because, again, I want it to be actionable for you. I don't want to just give you information. I want to give you information that you can act on, which is why the daily ticker is a super important part of this membership, okay? All right, so let's continue. That's the daily research in the daily ticker. Again, market overview, sector rotation analysis, and educational content. It's emailed and posted to Discord. So that is actually, that alone, the annual membership to the daily ticker is $1,495. It's included in the membership for the Day Trading Pro community. I want to make that clear. It's a huge part of the community. We also talked about Discord. I believe, led by Lynn here and Joe, we have just the most amazing community. And I want to just give you a little quick walkthrough here. The day trading side of things, there's community lingo for you to learn so you understand everything we're talking about. There's a singular channel dedicated to entries and trade management. And then there's a singular channel dedicated to conversations around what are we seeing in the market, how are we looking at it. Now, I just want to get this across really quickly. There's a difference between a chat room and a community. We're a community. You will hear us say over and over and over again, teamwork. This is all about us making this work together. Nobody's a superstar. It's all of us, one giant hive mind of looking at order flow, reading the tape, reading the market, and saying, here's what I see. Do you guys see the same thing? Here's why that's successful. It's one strategy. We're not looking at 500 different things, confusing the heck out of everybody. Everybody understands what they're looking at. So what does that make it? It makes the community itself one of the most valuable assets because now we have hundreds of people looking at the same thing and everybody's feeding each other ideas to at least look at, and then you take a look and see if they match your resources, your skill, and whether or not to trade. So I want to be clear. The community gives conversations around what's going on. We'll post what we see. We'll put snapshots of what we see. And then you can ask us questions about what you're seeing. And then we talk about that. But then a level above that, like I said here, we have an entire channel dedicated just to walking you through trades, when they're happening, which stocks, and what the entry signal is. We are dedicated to building a community, not a chat room. Community is there to help each other, which is why that's what it's been since day one. It's never been a chat room. 2018 is when it was actually started. It's all about you. We want you to understand what you're looking at, and we want you to have it actionable. Okay. All right. So let's keep going. Obviously, we're very proud of the community. Just showed you what that was all about. And by the way, it's also on your phone if you want. You might be too busy. Connect with serious traders. Again, I just can't emphasize this enough. Using the same system. And again, I don't want to knock anybody else. There's a lot of really good people out there. But I have found in the past that it can be very intimidating when you go into a community and everybody's learning something different or everybody's talking about something different. That is not the way we do things. What I just showed you and what's in all those, the training that I just walked you through, that's all we do. So everybody knows if somebody calls something out, let's say Sam calls something out, everybody knows what he's talking about. That's powerful. All of us are there to help each other. And obviously me, Joe, and Lynn are kind of like the moderators of the whole thing. Okay. All right. So next, this is actually big, celebrating wins, getting feedback. I want to move on just a little bit to some of the more important stuff. So again, just an annual membership to the community is $9.95. This is a part of this program that we're about to talk about right now. All right. We also have audio broadcast in the morning, audio broadcast in the afternoon, because seeing it typed out and hearing what myself, Joe, and especially Lynn are talking about is a little bit more powerful, because now you're like, look at that, as opposed to just typing it out, right? So big bonus is real-time Discord community, the auto broadcast 2 times a day, morning session, afternoon session for power hour, all right? Instant alerts on developing opportunities. We had a couple of those today. Really, that the airline stocks alone paid for the year for a lot of people today. Community-driven setup and sharing. Just the audio broadcast, $4.95. That's a valuable part. Bonus number 2. Now, this is the one that really, I think everybody gets excited about, right? So you saw me tonight. You saw the lessons. Like, there's all that stuff going on right now, right? But what if it's right now, 7:45 at night, and you want to learn something right now? Well, we have that taken care of as well. And what if you're shy? What if you don't want to ask a question on the coaching call? You're like, I don't want to answer. We have now over 100 hours of previous coaching sessions in artificial intelligence that will give you the answer and point you to that spot in the video as soon as you ask the question. And I'm super excited to show this to you, because it's a really big part of our community. So you can actually see here, we have curated every single question about every single thing that we do, all sorted out in alphabetical order. So you don't even have to find it. It's already there for you, and we've given you the question. So when you click on the little robot over here to bring up the AI and you type in the prompt that we give you, you can see it gives you a text answer. And I got a bunch of them in here, and it will give you the video. So you can see here, what is the power pyramid? So let's say you're learning, what is the power pyramid? It gives you the answer, and then it gives you all of the video. So it's mentioned in all these different coaching sessions, and it takes you right to that spot. So no matter what you want to learn, you type that in there. We already gave you the pre-built questions. It gives you all of that answer anytime, 24 hours a day, and it takes you right to that spot in the coaching session to learn the only thing that you want to learn at that moment. The AI coaching is one of the most powerful ways of taking advantage of all of these resources. But more importantly, it's at the exact moment that you need it. That's really, really important. Okay. All right. So that's a big part of the bonus. Over 85. It's actually now over 100. We haven't updated that yet. Pre-built prompts, like I just showed you, delivers a comprehensive answer exactly when you need it, and the video. And obviously, the big part of this is you'll accelerate your growth with an AI coach that knows exactly how to guide you to the next level. And I just can't express this strongly enough. Look, some people are shy and you don't want to ask a question on a live call. That's perfectly okay. That's what the AI coach is for. You do it on your time. You do it at your pace. You can ask as many questions as you want. There's no limit to them, which I think is a big thing too. And you could learn at a pace that matters to you. So you can imagine how powerful this is kind of behind the scenes. And this is included and everything. And that has a $995 value as well. Bonus number 3, and again, we spent a lot of time on mindset, the psychology and discipline. We said if you don't have the mindset to implement everything, it's going to be tough. But when you do, we have an entire training on the mindset and how to think like a champion, build unshakable trading discipline, build confidence. Look, you've only seen a slight part of me tonight. Hopefully you really learned something, and I kept my promise to you and really provided value. Tonight is really just the tip of the iceberg of how passionate we get in our community to helping you, no matter if you're just starting out or if you've been around for a while. We really, really care. And this course on mindset is $295 if you just go to the website and buy the course. Now, you might be new to us. You might be new to the internet. Who knows? You might be new to online training. We will schedule for every single person that becomes a member of our community, we schedule a one-on-one onboarding session. It's a very personal call. We do a screen share. We show you where everything is. We make sure you're getting the emails. We show you where all the courses are, where the AI is, how to access the community, to make sure you're in the community. Again, I can't stress this strongly enough. It's community. It's not a chat room. It's community, which is why these one-on-one onboarding sessions are so important, because we want to make sure what you just invested in yourself, you're using it and you can find everything that you just invested in for the next 12 months, because we want you to take advantage of it and we want you to be a part of the community. All right. So remember that one-on-one onboarding for everybody who becomes a member of our community. Okay. All right. Now we're kind of bringing this all home here. Everything that's included in what we just talked about in the Day Trading Pro annual membership. Okay. The daily deposits course, which is what I just showed you tonight. I gave you a small sample of what that looks like, $995. The implementation course with video samples and all that kind of stuff, $495. Monday night coaching sessions, $99, plus the archives of sessions. Thursday trade reviews, plus the archive sessions. Daily ticker trading newsletter, 5 days a week that goes out. I'm simplifying the profit pyramid for you. Private Discord community, plus the audio broadcast that I just showed you. 24/7 AI coaching. That alone is worth being in the community. You can learn at your own pace. Bonus mastery session videos, also a big part of the community, which is the mindset stuff, plus the one-on-one onboarding. You can see how much we really care. All of this is built around making sure you understand what you're doing and making sure that you feel welcomed into our community and very valued member of our community. Okay. This entire part of everything that's in the Day Trading Pro annual membership, if you invested in them separately, $7,854. But obviously, we talked about before, we want this to be a once-in-a-lifetime thing to start working in our community for the next 12 months. If you go to the website right now, it's $1,900. Again, I want to be super clear about this, and hopefully you know me. I'm a man of integrity. You are never going to see this ever again. I just want to be clear about this. This week is the only time you're going to be able to get into our community at this investment ever, because we're opening it up for the first time as a solo membership. So if what I've done tonight is provide some value, and you can see how passionate I am about making sure that you have all the resources and all the help you could possibly do, I really want to strongly suggest to you that you really think seriously about taking advantage of what we're talking about here tonight. Okay. So today's price with every single thing included is only $995. There is a lot in that package. If we just go back one slide, you get all of this for only $995 for the next 12 months. The AI alone is worth $995. Never mind the coaching calls, never mind the trade reviews, never mind the community, never mind the newsletter, never mind the real-time Discord community. Okay. This is an 87% savings that you will never see again, ever. I promise you, this week is the only time you're going to see this. As a matter of fact, Sunday at midnight is when it goes away. So if I've done a good job tonight of showing you not only how passionate I am, but how systematic everything is that we do. And I showed you an example today from a trade from today. I showed you what other members of our community are doing. I strongly want to ask you to think about investing yourself with me and you over the next 12 months and come and be a part of our community. $995 for the next 12 months is a drop in the bucket for anybody who's serious about learning and wanting to be a part of a special day trading community. And I am in there every day. So I just want to be super clear about this. I'm not the guy out front that you never hear from me again. I'm in the community with everybody every single day. All right. So what I'd like you to do is you could do one of two things to take advantage of this. Like we said, this expires this week, and I'm a man of my word. Don't call us on Monday. You're not going to get it. All right. You could either use this QR code, hold your phone up there and use the QR code, and it'll pop up to how to get started. Or you can visit this link here that you see on the bottom, stocktradingpro.com/day trading pro. I am just humbled to be here with you today. I know that everybody has busy lives, but please think really serious about if you were going to invest $1,000 on a trade. This is for the year. This is the entire year for $9.95. If you are serious and you really want to make this part of your life and make your life very, very special with all of the structure and the community and everything we talked about tonight, use that QR code, go to the link that you see here right now, and really consider getting started as soon as possible, because I'm telling you, and oh, by the way, that's the promo code right here, DTP webinar 725. I'm a man of my word, and you are not going to see this ever again, because integrity means everything to me, but helping people does as well. Please take advantage. If you are a day trader and you need help, you're new and you need to understand what to do, you're breaking even and you need to understand how to make money, you're losing money and you want to stop losing money, maybe you're making money and you're just not making enough and you know that there's more inside of you, use this code. Go $9.95 for the year. What is that, 80-something dollars a month? For everything I just talked to you, that is absolutely a steal, but you have to decide, where do you want to be 12 months from now? Only you can decide, do I want to make an investment in myself right now at this unbelievable founding member offer? I've never just offered the day trading room by itself. It's always been a part of some other membership. This is the only time we're doing this at this price. I can guarantee this price will not be around after this weekend. So I want to humbly thank you for joining me here during this presentation. We offered a massive amount of value. If you want to go back and watch the replay again, you can absolutely do that. As soon as this video is over, I'm going to post the link in the description below the video. If you have any follow-up questions, support@stocktradingpro.com. If you want to email our support team, I'll also put that in the description below the video. But I'd really, really love for you to really think about, where do I want to be a year from now? And based on what I introduced you to tonight, do you believe in your heart of hearts that our community and myself and everything that's a part of this package is the right place for you to learn how to be a day trader and really do it in a way that's not stressful and puts you in control of the outcome? That's what we're all about. And I really would love to see you join us. And I really hope to see you in the community tomorrow. If anybody has any questions, I'll stick around for some questions. If anybody has anything, I'd love to answer your questions. But again, we've spent quite a bit of time here tonight. Again, $9.95 for the entire 12 months. Use that the promo code and hit that QR code, or go to that link. I'll post the link below the video, and I'll post our support email if you have any follow-up questions to anything at all that we talked about tonight, in order to understand how to sign up. Support@stocktradingpro.com. And I'm super, super excited. This is just a small, I'm like this every day. So if you think I'm just putting on a show tonight, I'm like this every day. I just really care about members of our community. And like I said, we have people in our community going on their 6th year right now. So it's a really special place to be. And I'd love to see you in the community as well. I'll just go back a slide here so you can see everything that's included, just to make sure that you can see everything that you're getting when you make the investment tonight. Again, you get the daily deposits course, which is a part of what I taught tonight. There's a lot more in it, but I wanted to give you as much of an overview tonight. The implementation course, which shows examples and how to set everything up. Monday night coaching sessions, Thursday night trade reviews. Both of those have archives. The daily ticker newsletter, which I give you every single day by email, by Discord, and posted to the blog. We have the Discord community, which is real-time chat. We have audio broadcast, 24/7 AI coaching on now over 100 hours worth of coaching videos. We have the mindset, get your mindset right videos, and we have one-on-one onboarding sessions as well. I got to tell you, I'm just beyond excited to be opening this up to more people. This is absolutely the right investment. It's super inexpensive, and we try and over deliver as much as possible. And I think you're going to see, first week, you're going to see that this is how we are every day. So if you're serious about wanting to invest in yourself as an active trader, and especially if you're on the day trading side of things, there's a lot here. And I can't wait for you to get to the other side. As soon as you sign up, you're going to get access immediately and be in the community tomorrow. I will tell you the first thing to do, though. The first thing that I would do is schedule your one-on-one session, your onboarding session immediately. Because once you get your access, you get your login, you get your password, there's a lot in there. I just showed you, right? You want to get on a Zoom call with our team and you want us to show you around. Here's the course, here's the coaching, here's the AI. So you know how to take advantage of everything. And then obviously we want to make sure that you get into the Discord community so you can take part in the conversations and take advantage of some of the stuff like I just showed you today, that big, amazing trade in United Airlines today, right out of everything we teach. It was just pretty awesome. Let's see. Sam is asking, is it normal to day trade the IWM? So I'm going to actually answer that in a little bit different way. What we generally do is we use the market and the market ETFs, such as the Russell 2000, the IWM, for direction and bias and strength, but then we trade the stocks within those ETFs. So I'm going to tell you why. First, Sam, I want to say there's nothing wrong with that if that's all you trade, but from a profitability perspective, an ETF is basically a diversified portfolio of stocks. Generally speaking, on a pretty good day, they'll move 1.5% and be really directional. But stocks within those ETFs can have days where they do 5, 10, 15%, like you saw in United Airlines today. So what we typically do, Sam, is we will teach you to read the market in the way that I showed you tonight, obviously in a lot more detail, and then trade the stocks within those hot sectors to get a bigger percentage gain off of learning how to read those individual sectors in ETFs. So I hope that answered your question, Sam. That was a good one. Thank you. Nothing wrong with trading the IWM, but we look for a little bit more percentage gains than you can normally get in an ETF. But that's a great question. Thank you for that, Sam. So again, like I said, everything that you see on the screen right here, right now, use that QR code, 995. I'm telling you right now, my integrity is everything. You will never see this price for an annual membership with me again after this week. I promise you that. So please take advantage of this. Invest in yourself for the next 12 months. You'll be very, very happy that you did. I promise you, we will over-deliver in ways that you never expected. The amount of help you get will be limited to the amount of questions you have. That I promise you. And I know there's not a lot of people that will do it. And I'm the one who does the coaching calls. So I could definitely guarantee you that because I'm the one who does the calls myself. All right. So use that QR code. Make sure, make sure that you have this DTP, Day Trading Pro, DTP webinar 725. That's the promo code to knock it down to the 995. You want to make sure if you want to get that 875, 87% savings, you got to use that promo code. You just apply it on the, let me show you where to put that in there. If we pull that up and you go over here, you're going to land on this page here. Let me actually put this link in the chat and we'll put it below the video as well. But when you scroll down on the page, you can see all the bonuses in here and everything. Some questions about when you get access. I want to show you. So here's the promo code right here. So you want to drop it down from 1900 to 995. You want to drop the code in right here. So what you want to do is you want to take this code right here and you want to scroll down and you want to drop the promo code in right there. And you can see the price just got knocked down to 995. So you want to make sure that you take advantage of that. Grab this code and drop it in right there. That's the promo code. All right. So this is the daily ticker. Again, this is all a part of what you get. This alone, just me walking you through how to read the market every day, is very, very important. Let's see. The same 5 stocks for 90 days is better. You know, Sam, it's actually interesting. If you remember that slide that I put in there, I said, if you were brand new to the market and you really want to grow your confidence and grow your skills, it's better to have less stocks that move with the market. And I gave you that entire list before, and then grow from there. I'm going to tell you why. When new traders look at too much, they miss all the entries because they're all over the place and they don't gain confidence. The goal of narrowing your list while you're just starting out is to not only understand the process, but make sure that you find all the good trades in that smaller list of stocks. Nothing skips by you. And trust me, 5 stocks as a day trader, you could probably find 8 good ideas a day, which is a lot of trading for somebody that is looking to trade those intraday trends, right? Now, again, like I said before, we get people that ask, but isn't that limiting my opportunities? No, absolutely not. when you let's really kind of like take a step back and think about the philosophy that I'm trying to teach you right now. If you start to trade those five, let's say it's 10 stocks, just for the sake of the conversation, right? Let's say it's 10. Not all of those 10 stocks are going to be in play every day. Not all of them are going to meet the minimum viable criteria. So go back to what I said before. When this software is set up properly, the way that we show you, maybe 5 out of the 10 are in play that day. But here's the thing. I'm going to limit my opportunities. No, you're not. You're going to trade bigger. If you are trading really, really well on those ideas that you just took, trade bigger. Why would you go and look for something else if what you're doing right now is working? Why would you go and open up a different store when the store you're running right now is making money? So Sam, it's a fantastic, fantastic couple of questions in there, but this is exactly what we're talking about. This is what the coaching's like. The coaching is just like this, where you're asking questions and we're trying to get a feel for where you are, what you want to accomplish, what your experience is, all those kinds of things. And then we have a dialogue back and forth on helping you formulate what is the best path for you this month. And we want to take it a month at a time, block it off. What do we want to accomplish this month? What do we want to get better at this month? And that's what the coaching sessions are for. The more detail you give me to where you are and what you need to understand, the more I'll give back to you. I promise you that. And again, I'm the one doing the coaching live. It's me. So I can promise you you're going to get that. So the only thing that anybody needs to really think about now is, did what we show you tonight sound exciting enough for you to invest in yourself at this massive discount that you're never going to see after this week? Or 12 months from now, you're going to say, you know what? I should have taken advantage of that because I lost that much on one trade this week. That's really what it comes down to. Investing in yourself for the next 12 months and thinking about it as an investment in yourself and whether or not you're going to invest in you, right? There's a lot in this package and you have 12 months to take advantage of it. Never mind the 24/7 AI. So it looks like we got everybody's questions here. Use your phone, hold it up to that QR code. It will take you right there. You can check out, make sure you use the promo code here. If you want, I'll have that video link. I'll have the same link just below this if you want to do it on a desktop. So if you have any questions, pop them in there now. I'll stick around for another couple of seconds. If I don't see any questions in there, we'll call it a night. Give everybody a chance to get over there and sign up. Take advantage of this. This is, I really want you to see what it's like to be on the other side of the community, what it's like to attend one of our coaching sessions. You only saw a tiny piece of the training tonight. I wanted to give you some really actionable stuff because I promised you that I wanted it to be something that you could take away and really think about using. It's just a tiny piece of what we have on the other side. So if you want to learn how to be a day trader and be consistent and do it without the stress, take that next step and become a member of our community. I'd love to see you in there. All right. All right. So it looks like we're going to call it a night, everybody. Hit your phone on that QR code, pull up the link. I'm going to put the link right after the call below the video. You'll see it down there, or you can go here. But like I said, definitely use that promo code because that's what drops it down to $9.95. And I just want you to know how grateful I am that you're here with me tonight. It's just been an amazing experience for me tonight. I get all pumped up when we come on, and I want to share what I know, and I want to share with everybody in our community. So hit that link, use that QR code. I'll put it up here one more time. Hold your phone up to that, and get it on your phone. It takes you directly to the page. Make sure that you grab this here, the promo code, put that into the coupon spot where I showed you on the page, and you'll drop the price down from $1,900 down to $9.95. And I'd really love to see you in there. This is just a tiny part of what we're going to do together. But if I can leave you with nothing else tonight, hope I provided massive value. I hope I made you think a little bit differently about day trading stocks. And I hope you make that decision to say, this is a no-brainer. There's so much in this, and I want to be a part of that community. And I hope we did that for you tonight as well. So have an awesome, awesome day. Go back, watch the video, take some notes again, and anything you want to know, I'll answer for you on the next coaching session. All right, I'm gonna leave this up there for one more second, and hit that code. Put your phone up. If you don't know how to do it, if you've never used a QR code, basically you're just holding your camera phone up to it, and it lights up, and it brings you right to the page. All right. So anyway, have an amazing, amazing night, everybody. Again, if you're not sure how to do that, just open up your camera phone and hold it up to the QR code, and it actually brings you right to the page. It's kind of cool. I don't even know how it works, but it's pretty cool. All right. All right. Have an awesome night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to see you in the community. Take advantage of this. Think about it. Ask yourself, where am I going to be 12 months from now? And do I believe this will help me get there? All right. Have an awesome night, everybody. I'll speak to you soon. Thank you so much.